All right, so let's go through the build. It turned out, or I went away from the bleed build that I was doing before because I felt like the pet combination with your swirlies is pretty cool, so I wanted to go a little bit of a more Ellie route. But yeah, so this is it. You basically, yeah, as you saw, you stack this up, press your barrage, and then just right click, or for me right click, but use your twisters. And a single target, basically the same, just I found it best to barrage first, and then when you've done that, you spam sniper's mark, and then when they are gone, you do it again. Alright, so for the let's start with the M's. Sorry, I'll shut that off. Um, so for the twister, you want acceleration so they can go farther. You want salvo for more twisters, persistence as the same as before so they can go further, but more chance of hitting more enemies and bouncing back. Lightning infusion. This yeah, I got a lot of lightning shit on or stuff on my rings. So I'm using the lightning infusion and I'm using the pet for the shock ground and the hasted aura. I'll talk about that later, but so yeah, lightning infusion and then retreat. So keep in mind that for retreat to work and vice versa with pursuit, you need to hit enemies with your whirling slash. Um, so try to do this every or every 8 seconds at least, to keep that buff up for both of them. Or you're always gonna hit your projectile, so that doesn't matter as much. But I'll keep hitting your slash at least. But for bossing, should display or the video that I showed of the map, I didn't do it. But if I'm doing a pinnacle boss, I usually switch out persistence for concentrated effects for more damage. 'Cause usually they don't bounce. Sometimes, depending on the boss, they bounce or the tornadoes bounce back, but usually they don't. So you would like to try and hit as many as possible. But yeah, concentration for persistence on boss fights. You can do that in maps as well if you have a hard time, but I don't at the moment. So whirling slash, you got pursuit, magnified effect, so it's easier to hit him with your thing. So you get the retreat, wherever it was, this one, yeah. And then you got cold infusion, and martial tempo goes quicker. Barrage is all you buff all the try and buff all your skills. So you got this one where it has chance to not remove your frenzy charges. You got this one that could double the effect, more cast speed, because this one is pretty annoying to cast. And then another empower. Wind Dancer, these two, and then we got Herald of Thunder. I'm not sure about this one though. This one could probably be replaced by something else, but long shot is pretty good. Innervate and elemental focus. Then we got sniper's mark. We got the armor break for bosses and cooldown recovery. And here is our combat or frenzy generation with combat frenzy and these boots. So every time you pin, or you basically pin with physical damage, and both your whirling slash and your twisters are physical damage. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty easy. And then for the pet, I've got the most important ones are haste, aura, and the trail of lightning, or always shock. But I prefer trail of lightning because it just shocks everything, and for your twisters, of course. Yeah, trail of lightning. So your twisters, now you can see it, but you probably saw it in the video. When you shoot it about or in his trail of lightning, they become electrified. Alright, for the gear, we got the forked spear. This is a pretty bad one though. But yeah, this one is really good for Ritualist. It gets your critical, like, without it. Let's see. Let's check my stats. Or let's just do this. So look, if we see here, we got a like 86 or 63%, don't know what this is, but yeah, 64% chance of crit, and when we remove it, yeah, of course we don't do anything. Let's just equip this, whatever. But say before I had this, I had like, I don't know, 19% crit when I used my other weapon. So, and then this fork critical does, if you don't know, it rolls your crit twice. So first it rolls it once, and if it crits, then you get a crit, and then it rolls another time. And if you get a crit on that one, then you crit two times basically. And if you don't crit the first time and you crit the second one, you will crit. So it's really good for Ritualist because we don't have as big of a like critical multiplier as Amazon has with their accuracy scaling and stuff. For rings, you want to go for a lot of damage to attacks and rest and a lot of dexterity or attributes as well. Because as I'll show you later, but yeah, this is it as well. And then I'm gone like an energy evasion hybrid build. So this one is pretty annoying because you need like a lot of intellect for this. But I'm looking to get what's it called? There's a chest piece at least that makes you or basically gives you acrobatics. This one, so you can evade everything. So when I get that, I'm probably gonna skip the energy or the hybrid thing and only go for evasion. But right now I got this. And then I got ingenuity because works well with ritualist. And you want spirit on either your chest or your amulet. But considering I'm gonna replace the chest when I get more divines, which will probably take a time or a long time, I have my spirit on the amulet. Otherwise, the hands are these ones, so you get the rage stacking. So I got 30 rage all the time, which increases my damage by a lot. It's a multiplicative one. But you lose 5% of your max health per second, so you want to get enough life regen so you don't die, basically. I still have too small amount of life regen, so I need to get more, but I got enough to not go past like 90% maybe it is, thanks to this one. But I don't really like this one too much, but it's nice. For now, at least. And then I got the one on the spirit gem as well. Is it? Yeah, this vitality to get 1%, and then I got life regen on that, and just and nothing else. Um, then I got these charms. They don't work too. I don't know. I haven't noticed a big difference, but I use them just because. But when I have enough, I'm gonna go for the silver something charm, the one that gives you onslaught. So 20% more movement speed and attack speed. It's gonna be pretty nice. And then I'm probably gonna want to go to this mind phylacteries, so you can consume it. I've heard that you can't use it yourself. It just happens sometimes. But yeah. Oh yeah, I want to mention too on your rings, you really want to get. I don't have it now because I had on my previous weapon. I kind of just switched. But you want physical leech, both life and mana on rings, uh, because that's gonna sustain your mana and health pretty good. All right, now for talents. Obviously we go this route. Got reduced mana, another ring slot on that, and the other ones are kind of not as set in stone. Right now, as I explained, I have this because of my gloves. But I think I'm gonna go this route. I really hate that they have to do something about this. This takes like 5 seconds to cast, and it's there for like 20 seconds if you don't have the persistence buff. But we need to use it for the twisters, so we can't. And then this one is like the only viable one. But then again, you only get one modifier, and it doesn't really, I don't know, tingle my fancy, I guess. This one is, I mean, you don't need it. You already got enough damage, and it doesn't help you with your single target as well. So, I don't know. So I'm probably gonna go this way, especially when I get the other charm. And then you're gonna go here. You got pick up the blind damage. You want to get as much crit bonus and critical hit chance as we want, or as you can rather. You want to get this, and then you want to get the companion nodes over here, especially the reservation, because you kind of want a lot of spirit. Obviously get this, and then you get this one as well, so you get even more attack speed. Then you go over here, you gain energy shield per 12 elevation on your body armor for now at least. And remember, we're gonna change that later when we get enough currency. Then you get the crit nodes over here, and some more defenses over there. Yeah, so that's it. Remember, if you don't feel like doing a hybrid build, you can always just go evasion and life, kind of, because it is quite annoying to get 129 intellect. So you don't really need that. I'm just doing it because I don't know, I can. But then for what you call it, this thing, I forgot what it's called now, but you kind of, if you're going the hybrid build, subterfuge would be very nice. So you get more evasion if you have the helmet. Otherwise, this overwhelming critical strike is pretty nice. There was another one that gave you 15% projectile speed and attack speed or something. Yeah, this, or area of effect. This one is pretty cheap as well, catapult, and pretty nice too. Mm, yeah, but I'm gonna aim for a subterfuge mask but this one's so expensive. And I don't really need too much now, but that's what I'm aiming for at least. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and